You know that feeling, right? You're staring at a page just packed with dense, essential information, and you're thinking, how on earth am I supposed to make this interesting? How do I make it memorable? Well, you've come to the right place. Today, we are breaking down the exact blueprint for turning that wall of text into a lesson that actually sticks. This really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's the challenge that every teacher, every content creator, heck, every student faces. Because look, it's not enough to just throw facts at someone. The real goal, the R of it, is designing an experience that makes learning unforgettable. And this slide right here, it captures our challenge perfectly. Over on the left, you've got the raw material, a super detailed document on polysaccharides. I mean, all the info is there, it's all correct, but let's be honest, it's a bit of a snoozer. On the right, that's our goal. A lesson that's not just informative, but genuinely engaging and easy to digest. So, how do we build that bridge from one to the other? We do it with a plan. This is our roadmap for today. First, we'll talk about the challenge itself. Then I'm going to introduce you to the blueprint. From there, we'll walk step by step through building the core lesson, making sure it's memorable, testing for actual mastery, and then, of course, adding that final, crucial polish. Okay, so every great lesson has to start with the raw material. In our case, it's this document on polysaccharides, which, by the way, is absolutely essential for any biology student, especially if you've got a big exam coming up. But the problem is, in this raw format, it's a recipe for glazed over eyes. Our job is to dig out those key ideas and rebuild them in a way the brain is actually wired to learn. And this is how we do it. This is the engagement blueprint. Seriously, think of it like an architect's plan for building a lesson. It's a structured, reliable process that takes all the guesswork out of it and helps you intentionally design for clarity and retention. Look, you have to earn your audience's attention, and you have to do it fast. Those first few seconds are absolutely critical. That's why our blueprint starts with this powerful 1-2-3 punch. First, you hook them. Second, you tell them exactly why this matters to them. And third, you give them a clear, simple roadmap of where you're about to go. A great hook isn't just a friendly hello. No, it's a strategic move. It's designed to spark instant curiosity or tap into a problem that your learner is actively trying to solve. It has to immediately answer that silent question that's in every student's head. Why should I care? Why is this worth my time? And boom, here's that principle in action. Just look at how we can craft a powerful, exam-focused hook directly from our source material. It hits all the right notes, right? It addresses the pain point, struggling. It offers a specific reward, 8 marks, and it creates urgency, stay till the end. All of a sudden, this isn't just another biology lesson. It's a strategic advantage for their exam. So once you've hooked them, you cannot let go. The very next move is to double down on that relevance. You have to explicitly build a bridge between the information you're about to share and the goals they're desperately trying to achieve. So for our polysaccharides lesson, we'd lay it out just like this. We're telling the student exactly why this matters. We're saying, hey, listen up, this is a high-yield topic for your exam. It's a foundational concept that connects to other chapters. And that little specific detail about alpha and beta linkages, yeah, that's a classic exam question. This isn't just interesting, it's tactical. All right, so our intro is locked in. Now it's time to build the core of the lesson. And the secret here isn't to just list a bunch of facts. The real key is to find the central organizing idea, what I like to call the golden nugget that holds everything else together. And wouldn't you know it, in our source material, we find this absolute gem. This table comparing storage versus structural polysaccharides, this is the perfect backbone for our entire lesson. This simple contrast, energy storage versus structural support, becomes our guiding framework. Now we can explain everything else, like starch, glycogen, and cellulose, just by slotting them into this clear, comparative structure. It's brilliant. But hey, a clear explanation is only half the battle. Now we have to make it stick. This next phase is all about actively giving the learner tools to encode this information into their long-term memory. This is how we turn simple facts into actual usable knowledge. And our source material gives us a perfect example of how to do this. A simple mnemonic like ESCCM for the functions of carbohydrates is just incredibly powerful. What it does is it chunks 5 complex ideas into one simple, memorable acronym. This is an active learning assist, and it dramatically boosts retention. So how do we actually know if any of this is sinking in? Well, we have to test it. This is a crucial shift in the blueprint because we're moving the student from being a passive listener to an active participant. We're using the power of active recall, which forces the brain to retrieve information, and in doing so, it literally strengthens that memory. So you'd build in a practice question, just like this one, taken straight from that core concept we established earlier. This multiple choice question directly targets our storage versus structural framework. It's a really simple, low-stakes way for the student to check their own understanding right then and there. And the correct answer is, of course, C, cellulose. But just knowing the right answer, that's only the first step. Because here's the most important part. We don't just give the answer, we explain the reasoning. We reinforce why C is correct by tying it back to those beta-linkages and their structural properties. And, just as importantly, we explain why the other options are wrong, reminding the learner about alpha-linkages and their role in energy storage. This closes the loop and really solidifies the whole concept. And now it's time for the final polish. The last step in our blueprint is all about bringing the lesson home with real impact. It has two parts, a high-speed recap for quick revision and a final thought that makes the whole thing resonate. First up, the quick summary. We boiled the entire lesson down to the absolute most critical, high-yield facts. This slide, pulled right from our sources summary, is perfect. It is exactly what a student needs to glance at in the final moments before an exam to refresh all those key distinctions. And really, this is the core takeaway of everything we've talked about. What this blueprint shows is that great teaching isn't some kind of magic. It's design. It's an intentional process. It's about taking the raw material of knowledge and thoughtfully structuring it so that it's clear, engaging, and truly built to last.